think, as I said earlier, I think that it's an objective we should always have in mind to create a better balance and to try and sustain the other sectors, because I mean, just you never know when you might see a change in looking longer term, when you hope that you've still got those industries going and they might come into circumstances where they would expand or the opportunities would be greater. But I think at this particular point in time, I think there are things that we can do. I've always taken the view, and have said this certainly when I wrote the Economic Survey in 1971, is that Jersey has got a great future, in my view, as a tourism industry centre. I mean, it's got the attractive environment which we all enjoy. It should be a very good basis upon which to build a successful tourism industry. And what's happened over the last 50 years should have reinforced that, because the emphasis on the environment is much greater now than it was then. And I think we see that in many of the visitors who come to Jersey because of the environment. And they spend a lot of time going around the island, whether they're cycling or walking or just generally soaking up the environment. Certainly those people that I've had come to visit us over the years, invariably have gone away from Jersey saying that they haven't seen everything. It's such a varied island, and they haven't seen everything. They're obviously going to come back. If you can get people here, they tend to, as I think someone said, they tend to fall in love with it. And I think we just don't put enough energy perhaps into that. We've now got a new man leading the tourism sector, Keith Beecham, and hopefully that's going to create some favourable results. I'm confident there is an industry there, there's a niche there, there's a market there, and I think we've got a product which should be good.
So then we go on to the international element, and the criticism we've heard from a number of sources that Jersey's good is not good for the world, and certainly not good for some parts of the world.
Yeah, there is this argument, I know, and it's something that we're very conscious of, which again is where the question of transparency comes in. And the new international standard, which has just been announced in this last month, in context of the European Union, but also by the OECD last October, which is this whole question of transparency on allocation of profits and country-by-country reporting is something that we are committed to, and there's a consultation document out at the present time for comments on bringing a legislation to provide for that country-by-country reporting. So I think it's important to have transparency so that all jurisdictions can know what their residents are doing. At the same time, one recognises that there are people who are living in politically unstable areas who are seeking to protect their wealth for the benefit of their families, and see the attraction of putting that wealth into, say, a Jersey trust and having it administered in Jersey. And I'm not sure that should always be deprecated. I mean, I'm not sure that's necessarily bad, that people should be discouraged from engaging in the protection of their own interest in that respect if they are living in centres of great political instability. So there's a balance, as always, a balance to be struck. And we certainly, Jersey has certainly been very active in dealing with issues of countering financial crime. We've got a good record in terms of sending money back to Nigeria, for example. We're in the process of, we've been fighting for some time to get a couple of gentlemen out of Kenya to be extradited to Jersey, and hopefully that will result in funds going back to Kenya. And we are presently engaged in discussions with a number of African countries, discussing with them how we can help them to locate the proceeds of corruption and the like, and get the assets seized and assets returned. So, but that doesn't mean that there are not people in those jurisdictions or in other jurisdictions who cannot use Jersey quite legitimately and should be discouraged from doing so.
Thank you. And just to pick up Nick's point, I know you wouldn't characterise the last few decades of work as being a single-handed effort, But does Jersey need another Colin Powell, another generation of experts to come in and guide us through the next phase of its evolution?
I think that what Jersey needs is a strong states, strong assembly. Not saying it hasn't got one at the present time. I've always worked very well with the assembly over the years, but I think in my role as an advisor, I've always taken the view that it's for me to advise that whether things get done depend upon the politicians. I've also been very conscious of the fact that over the years, and I've been quite happy to accept it, that if my advice is good, that then becomes the advice and decision, it becomes the view of the politicians. So if they like take over the advice and say it's theirs, that's fine, I don't have a problem with that. And if the advice is bad, then it's mine. So I mean, but it's important, I think, my view as a civil servant and working with the government, that's the role you perform. And if you perform that role, it should point very clearly to the fact that if you're going to succeed, it does depend upon the legislature, it depends upon Parliament, much more than it depends upon me.
Thank you so much.